Donald Trump is known for many things: his television shows, his presidential tenure, and of course, his business empire. But what do Trump's financial strategies really mean for the American economy? How did his approach to business shape the financial landscape? And most importantly, how does his legacy continue to affect your wallet and the economy today? In today's video, we're diving deep into Trump's business strategies, his controversial policies, and how they've impacted not only America's economy but the everyday financial lives of its citizens. So, let's break it down and see what Trump's business legacy really means for you, the American economy, and for businesses across the country. Number 1. Trump's business empire. The foundations of a billion-dollar brand. Donald Trump's business empire began long before his days in the White House. It all started with real estate. In the 1970s, Trump took control of his father's real estate business, which was already well established in Queens and Brooklyn, New York. But Donald Trump had bigger plans. His vision: to dominate Manhattan's skyline with luxury buildings that would bear his name. Trump Tower, completed in 1983, became the hallmark of his brand, a combination of luxury, real estate, and opulence. And from there, Trump's empire expanded. He didn't just stop at real estate. He ventured into hotels, casinos, golf courses, and even beauty pageants. But it was his ability to leverage debt and build a powerful brand that would define his business empire. Many people are fascinated by Trump's success, but there's something crucial to understand about his business model. Trump's wealth came, in part, from borrowing huge sums of money, using real estate leverage to fund his projects. In other words, he built his empire with someone else's money. But is that a good thing or a risky financial strategy? While leveraging debt helped him grow rapidly, it also meant that his businesses faced significant risks when the economy wasn't performing well. But Trump's financial strategies were often about riding the highs of the economy, while minimizing his risk during the lows. His ability to market himself and his brand was also key. Trump wasn't just selling real estate, he was selling the Trump name. Number 2. The Trump tax cuts. How his financial policies shaped the U.S. economy. Fast forward to 2017. As president, Donald Trump introduced the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, one of the most significant tax reforms in recent history. The aim? To reduce corporate taxes, stimulate business growth, and create jobs. Sounds great, right? Well, while the tax cuts benefited corporations, large businesses, and the wealthy, critics argue that they didn't do enough for the average American worker. The tax reform reduced the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, providing a massive windfall to corporations. And that's where things get interesting. Trump, a businessman at heart, wanted to see businesses thrive. But what happened to the middle class? Critics argue that the tax cuts increased the deficit, and while corporate profits soared, the promised benefits for middle-income families never fully materialized. In fact, many middle-class Americans saw minimal relief, while the wealthiest saw their tax burden drastically reduced. Trump's tax cuts sparked a national debate. Did they stimulate economic growth? Or did they simply benefit the top 1% in corporations, leaving everyday Americans to shoulder the burden? Number 3. Trump's trade wars and economic consequences. Tariffs, China, and America's wallet. One of the most talked about aspects of Trump's economic policy was his trade war with China. When Trump entered office, he claimed that the U.S. was losing out on trade with China, and that he would use tariffs to rebalance trade. Tariffs were imposed on a wide range of goods, from steel and aluminum to electronics and machinery. But here's the twist. While tariffs are designed to pressure countries like China to renegotiate trade terms, they often come with unintended consequences. And in this case, the American consumer was hit hard. With tariffs on Chinese goods, the prices of everyday products increased. Whether it was consumer electronics, clothing, or automobiles, Americans found themselves paying more for imported products. So, who really paid for the tariffs? It wasn't just China. It was you and other U.S. consumers. Companies had to either raise prices to cover the cost of tariffs or absorb the extra cost themselves, affecting their profitability. While Trump argued that the tariffs would help American industries by reducing foreign competition, it's important to note that some industries, particularly farmers, took a big hit. In fact, many American farmers saw exports to China dry up as a result of the trade war, leading to massive financial losses. Number 4. Deregulation. The Trump era's impact on business and finance. During his presidency, Trump focused on deregulating the business environment. The idea was simple: reduce government restrictions and make it easier for businesses to thrive. And while this may sound like a pro-business move, it also had far-reaching consequences, particularly for the financial industry. Trump's administration rolled back numerous regulations, especially in sectors like banking, energy, and environmental protections. One of the most significant moves was the rollback of the Dodd-Frank Act, which had been put in place to prevent another financial crisis after 2008. By loosening these regulations, critics argued that Trump's policies could potentially open the door for more risk-taking in the financial markets and in corporate America. On the flip side, proponents of deregulation argue that it would lead to greater economic growth and help businesses expand and create jobs. But there's a key takeaway here. While businesses benefited from fewer regulations, the risks associated with deregulation could have long-term consequences for the broader economy. Could these policies set the stage for future economic instability? Number 5. Trump's financial legacy. The influence on American business and the economy today. Now, let's zoom out and ask the bigger question. How has Trump's financial legacy influenced the U.S. economy after his presidency? Some argue that Trump's tax cuts and deregulation created a booming economy during his tenure. Corporate profits were up, the stock market hit record highs, and unemployment reached historic lows. For a time, things seemed to be heading in the right direction. But now, in the post-Trump era, the economy faces a number of challenges. The global pandemic, rising inflation, and concerns about wealth inequality are all important factors to consider when assessing the long-term impact of Trump's policies. While the stock market may have flourished under his presidency, average Americans are still grappling with rising costs, supply chain disruptions, and economic uncertainty. The question remains, did Trump's financial strategies create sustainable growth? Or were they simply short-term fixes that have now left the economy facing new challenges? Number 6. Lessons from Trump's financial strategies. What can you learn from his legacy? So, what can we learn from Donald Trump's business and financial strategies? Whether you agree or disagree with his policies, there are lessons that can be taken from his approach to wealth building, risk-taking, and branding. First, Trump's leverage of debt teaches us that using other people's money can be an effective way to grow wealth, if you do it wisely. However, this strategy also involves a great deal of risk, and it's important to understand the consequences of borrowing large amounts of money. Second, Trump's ability to build a brand is something many entrepreneurs can learn from. He didn't just sell properties, he sold the Trump name, which became synonymous with luxury, success, and power. Lastly, Trump's policies remind us that economic decisions often have complex consequences, and what benefits one group may not necessarily benefit the broader population. Conclusion, what's the bottom line? So, after all that, how do you feel about Trump's business legacy? Do you think his financial strategies helped America, or did they benefit only the rich and corporations? Is his approach to debt and branding something that you can apply to your own financial journey? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Trump's financial legacy and want to learn more about the world of business and finance, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos.